Welcome back. Week 9 waiver wire fantasy football player pickups. These are players that are owned in less than 50% of Yahoo fantasy leagues. And like always, I touch on a few guys that are above the 50% line that I've talked about in previous weeks. Back-to-back weeks, I'm going to throw the same two names at you. Ronnie Hillman, Jerick McKinnon, 74% owned, 73% owned, respectively. These guys need to be at 100% owned. I know some owners are a little bit leery with the possible return of Monty Ball coming in the next week or so. Don't worry about it. Stick with Hillman. Stick with McKinnon. These guys are not going to lose their jobs. Now we're going to hit on the less than 50% owned. Coming in at 38% owned, a guy who I've been debating on talking about for the last couple weeks because of his history in Carolina, Brandon LaFell. He's a guy that has a big week, followed by a down week, followed by a big week, followed by a down week. The last 5 weeks, his fantasy point totals have been 17, 2, 21, 5, and 18 this past week. The bottom line, though, is Tom Brady is trusting this guy, and he's getting more comfortable with this player. That makes me more comfortable. I feel like LaFell is a guy you can add at this point. Not sure how I feel about starting him. But like I said, with 6 teams on a bye, this is probably a good week to do it. Last 5 games, LaFell has been on the field for around 86% of the Patriots snaps. Anytime somebody is on the field 86% of the time with Tom Brady at the helm, I'm okay with that. Next guy on my list, 25% owned, Allen Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars. Since week 3, he has seen at least 7 or more targets in every game, and since Blake Bortles took over, he's seeing even more targets. The bottom line here is Jacksonville is going to be playing from behind a lot of the way. They want to let Bortles huck it and chuck it all over the field, and he's going to Robinson. This guy has potential wide receiver 2 upside, more than likely a wide receiver 3. At 14% owned, Devontae Adams, Green Bay Packers. He's become the Packers' clear number 3 wide receiver. They're on the bye week, might be a good stash and hide on your bench right now. 14 catches and 2 touchdowns the last 4 weeks. This guy could be a sneaky pickup as the season rolls on. Final 2 guys I'm going to talk about are less than 10% owned, and they're both running backs. Charles Sims, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming in at 8% owned. Potentially comes back this week from the IR designated to return list. Sims is the guy that Lovie Smith and this coaching staff drafted this year. In a PPR league, this is a good speculative add to your roster. Tampa Bay clearly has decided to look for the future. They're going to start getting younger at all positions. See Sims, he's got that swing for the fences, home run upside. If you're desperate at running back and you need somebody bad the rest of the way, this is a guy you want to add right now. Call it a gut feeling, call it whatever. I already added him to one of my rosters. I like the potential from here on out with Sims. Jonas Gray, running back, New England Patriots, only 7% owned. Again, a guy, if you're desperate, you're throwing darts, you need running backs, maybe add him to your roster. I don't trust anything as far as running backs go in New England. If you have the roster space, add him, stash him. I wouldn't play him anytime soon. Kind of wait and see approach with this guy. Check back Thursday. Mason and I will be back doing our NFL winners and losers for this week. I'm going to throw some links down underneath this video also to look at my previous week's waiver wire ads. Because again, I don't tend to touch on guys that I've talked about in the previous weeks, but there's a ton of good pickups still out there that they're above the 50% line now because hopefully some of you are listening, but they're still in the 60-70% range. So guys, you can still add to your team. Don't forget to check those guys out. Don't forget to check back next week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.